Hello everybody, in this video we are going to continue our conversation about using a quadratic formula to identify how many and specific x-intercepts of a quadratic function. So in this video we're going to focus on what it looks like for a one solution. So the one solution is actually going to be our vertex. So anytime you have a one solution, it's because it's the vertex that's touching the x-axis. So for this to be a one solution, our discriminant of the quadratic formula will need to be an equal to 0. So I'm just going to remind you that the discriminant is this formula right here. The square root is not included. It's just the b squared minus 4ac. So before we can use a discriminant or anything with the quadratic formula, we need to be able to set this up in standard form. So if I look at the left side of the equation, it is in standard form because I have m squared in the front, m in the middle, constant at the end. But notice that this is not equal to 0. We actually have two numbers we need to get rid of. So let's go ahead and move them over and combine them with their like terms. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this negative 5m and add it. And so because it has an m, I can only combine it with another m. So I'm going to put it right here. Cross it out because I know that's going to become 0. And then I have a positive 11n squared. So I'm going to subtract it. And I'm going to combine it. Oh, that's supposed to be an m. So y'all ignore that. Okay. So let's pretend it's an m. So I'm going to combine it with another m squared. So my m squared is in the front. So I'm going to subtract 11m squared here. Cross it out. And combine like terms. So 13 minus 11 gives us 2m squared. 5 plus 5 gives us 10m plus 12 is equal to now 0. So our a value is 2, our b value is 10, and our c value is 12. So now that I know what a, b, and c is, I can go ahead and plug it into this discriminant. Notice it says b squared. So I'm going to take the b, put it inside parentheses, and then square it, minus 4. Remember the 4 is from the formula. And then we're going to multiply it by 2, which is our a, and 12, which is our c. So we know 10 times 10 is a 100 minus, I was going to put the 4 down, but I'm going to multiply 4, 2, and 12. So from here, we're going to multiply, hold on, 4, 2, and 12. And that's going to give us a 96. All right, so we're going to do 100 minus 96, which is equal to 4. So one of the things that I want to point out is apparently I made a mistake on our notes because this is not a 0. So we're going to continue to work this out, and then we might have to go back and change the title because I think I got my solutions mixed up. So for right now, we're going to say this is a number greater than 0. So that automatically tells us that because it is greater than 0, that we're going to have two solutions. So because this is a positive number, we have two solutions. Now, when we are working with two solutions, we're actually going to have to split our fraction into two parts when we use the quadratic formula to get our two different solutions. So let's go ahead and use our formula here. And now that we know all of this is equal to 4, then instead of having to rewrite that, we're just going to use the 4 and then keep on simplifying it. So we're going to say x is equal, and we're going to say the opposite of b. So the opposite of b is a negative 10 because it's a positive 10 right now, so the opposite would be a negative 10. This is a plus minus, and this is going to allow us to split our fraction into two parts. But we're not ready to do that yet. We know the discriminant is the number 4, so the square root of 4 over 2 times a. So if we go back here, a is 2. And we're going to take it to the next step, and we're going to simplify this part right here and this part right here. So we're going to say negative 10 plus minus the square root of 4 is a positive 2. because 2 times 2 gives us 4. And that's going to be over 4, because 2 times 2 is 4. Now this is where we're going to do our split. We're going to say negative 10 plus 2 over 4. And then our second one is going to be x is equal to negative 10 minus 2 over 4. So this plus minus just lets us know that one of our fractions is going to have a plus in the middle, the other one's going to have a minus. So from here, I'm just going to squeeze it right here. Negative 10 plus 2 is a negative 8. Over 4 gives us negative 2. All right, I'm going to squeeze this one in right here. Negative 10 minus 2 is a negative 12. Over 4 is negative 3. So both of our solutions to this quadratic function is a negative 2 and a negative 3. So our graph crosses in 2 different places. So I'm going to use Desmos to check my answer. So remember that when you're using Desmos, you don't want to type in the original function. You want to type in the one that's equal to 0. And then you want to compare to see if these are the places where your graph crosses the x-axis. So I'm going to use Desmos for this, but remember you can also use your graphing calculator. All right, so you can see the website up here. I typed in the 2x. Now, to get the exponent, all you have to do is hit Shift 6 at the same time, and it will give you an exponent. All right, so I'm going to use Desmos just because it's easier to look at our graph. And so if you look at your graph here, you can see that our parabola does cross the x-axis at negative 2. So I'm going to click anywhere on this graph and it shows me it's negative 2 and negative 3. So it does cross in 2 different places, and those numbers are correct. So I am going to, actually, because I think there was a mix-up with my equations, I'm going to cross this part out and put 2 solutions. Or if you want to, you can draw an arrow like this to let us know that we got our equations mixed up. Okay, so it's completely up to you. All right, I'm actually going to pause right here, and we're going to look at one more example, which is the 2 solutions, or in this case, the 1 solution, since we got it mixed up. So I hope that this helped. I'll see you in the next videos.